It's Robert Peppo with Small Business Uncensored. Listen on Spotify and iTunes, and you can watch on YouTube. Let's go.
Do you think people will vote for me?
All right, what's up, everybody? Small Business Uncensored, back again, episode 7. Appreciate you guys so far rocking with me. Before we start, it's Robert Peppo. Follow on all social media platforms, Robert_J_Peppo. You'll find me there. You'll find links to this content, different photos, different things that I'm doing all the time, links to my business pages, everything like that. So without further ado, this one is sponsored again by my company, Peppo Subs. Check us out, pepposubs.com. Peppo's Great Sub Sandwiches on Facebook, Peppo Subs on Instagram. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. Today, I'm going to talk about the facts of why small businesses are essential to the U.S. economy. Everybody kind of hear this: support local, shop local, support your small businesses. So I got a few points here that I've known for a long time, and I looked up just to confirm on the Small Business Association website. Publishes all the data on small businesses throughout the United States every year. Updates all the time. Check it out. I'll put a link in the bio and some other links in the description. There are 30 million small businesses, okay? And that's 99% of all the businesses in the United States. Kind of a big deal, 99%, right? But what does that really mean? That is defined as $7 million in sales or under 500 employees. Okay, I mean, if you have 500 employees, you gotta be doing over 7 million for sure. I don't know how you pay everybody for not, but that kind of defines it for you. If sometimes you wonder what actually defines a small business, so there you go. As small businesses, we employ 58 million people. Okay, so imagine what this last year has done to that number and why it's important, like with the PPP grants and things like that, and to support why that matters and why there's lobbyists and why there's people fighting hard for that, because it is literally a huge reason why the economy would work or not work, or people are working or not working, and how money circulates and all that. Okay, we can't rely on just these big tech companies. We can't rely on all these other huge companies that, although they seem like they're everywhere, that's just marketing. They're really not the majority at all. In fact, they're obviously 1%, and that's pretty small. So just think about that, put it in context for you. If you know somebody who owns a business, a family business, employs people, it's pretty important to support them because they're supporting a lot of people as well. All right, this is exactly what I'm doing this for. All right. So 70% of restaurants, let's just say from my industry, are single unit family owned. Okay. Now, don't confuse franchises and family businesses, small businesses. Somebody in somebody's family owns a franchise. Okay, it's still a family business. But the reason they might not be considered a small business is because they're a network of a much larger organization that has a lot more support, reach, marketing, and all that. So they can't quite be considered that overall, but they definitely are themselves. Okay, so you probably know somebody. We all might know somebody who might own a franchise or a business. And someday I hope to franchise and hire and work with lots of awesome people that will be small business owners, that will have a family that's tied to that franchise. No matter what the name looks like and how big they are, it's still a family and people and businesses being run with family business and people behind the scenes, okay? So don't confuse that. Now, a lot of people might think this all sunshine and rainbows. Oh, you own your family business, that's great. Oh, it's always, you get to work with your family. Oh, that might seem like, so you must be your own boss. All these things that might be misconstrued with what a family business is or what a small business is, I am about to break down for you today. That's going to come with the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything that comes along with doing everything yourself. This kind of goes back to my other video called the 24/7 life, because that's kind of what it is. But I met with and spoke with another person involved in their family business, another small business. From the outside, it's a very successful business, but incredibly tumultuous inside of the business. And there's been other stories that I've heard about how shit can get really fucked up, and I'm going to hit a few of those parts today. But this young lady was talking to me about her business, which looks great. They're doing well, except for it's super fucked up. The family dynamic because of the business and how things are just not situated right for succession and things like that. I'm going to tell you how it doesn't have to be like that. So if you're an older owner or perhaps coming into your family business or maybe working in it right in the thick of it now, pay attention to the few things that I've heard gone really wrong, and then a few things that we've done right. And I'm an optimist, and I always look for the good shit, and I always want the right outcome. So I'm gonna always bring the tie-in of everything being good. Don't confuse that with everything's been easy and good for us along the way, because it definitely hasn't. I'll hit on a few of those points today, but there'll be a whole nother video talking about my come up and what we had to do, and it will be the bare and raw truth of it, okay? But today I'm going to hit some points so you understand, and maybe you're going through it with your business, how to not deal with the bullshit, and or what to expect if you're going to. So let's try and alleviate some of that. So working with family is hard, as I just said, and this is why. Are you going to treat that person as family at all times, as an employee, as both? When are the right times to do that, and when are the wrong times to do that? It's hard to do that depending on the different businesses that you might have, depending how closely you work with it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you send people out and they can work in the field or something on their own, or maybe you're working in the office and you are directly tied to what they're doing. All those things kind of take a play in it. So I'm only going to speak on the things that I've done, known, or going through, or the people that are directly associated with me have, so I can have real actual facts for you guys and how to kind of get around there. Luckily, over the time, we've gotten past those little things, but if someone isn't good, it is actually beneficial for them and you to just say, hey, you know what, this might not be the right time, might not be the right fit, whatever. You could figure that out on your own, with your situation. Or are they short term, just looking for something and you might have a role for them? Or are they long term and you really want to breed them into, the next generation or someone you can really depend on? You got to think about all those things when you think about who's about to come into your business. Are they going to be a good representation? Are they going to work hard? Are they going to take advantage of you being the owner? Or if you earn it, you get it. Performance speaks more than anything to me. Usually family's going to be there, so you got to tread carefully on that. And think about how you're going to address those things so then you can have a good family dynamic outside of the business. And it takes a really good leader and special type of person to be able to handle that and handle that in all ways. Okay? So, and another thing in a family business, if family comes to support you, which is great, and they come in, are they going to pay full price? Do you have a family discount? Is everyone going to be treated fairly? Is your favorite aunt going to get a little bit better than your grandma or something? Or is your grandma get it better than the cousin? What I've chose to do is everybody gets the family discount, and that's it. There's no free stuff going out here. And I mean, unless we want to provide that, right? But I don't want to have to feel obligated or someone expects something. So it's a set thing for me or anybody else if their family is a part and comes in. That's what it is. One flat rate. That's fair. And if you want to do that on your own, that's what we've done. We've catered a lot of different parties, brought it all for free. We go out and we do it. So then it's there and don't expect it. So then when they come in, we know it's fair that they pay. Because I have employees to feed. I do have employees to feed. But I have employees to pay. And they gotta, put food on their table at home. And if my things aren't controlled, I can't do that well. So, here's another big thing. In a family business, you have something called key person syndrome. Okay, you get so reliant on the owner doing it, and if they don't teach somebody, or no one else comes along, or there's not another person that can do all the things that they do, you get really kind of stuck in one way to function and one way only. And that's no fault to anybody's, but just over a long period of time that happens. Roles get kind of, etched out with what people do, and you just roll with it until sometimes it's too late. Or if there's a sickness, like my father had cancer and he was gone for a year. And right on back of that, he had, heart surgery. What are you going to do if you're not prepared to fill in these roles? Either shit gets super fucked up, sales get hit, employees leave, or somebody steps up. Luckily, my father recovered. He's with us now, and he's awesome. He's doing well. But what are you going to do if there was a death in the family instead of just a year hiatus? What are you going to do then? Or like when I deployed to Afghanistan, does a business run? Have I done my fair share to set people up to succeed while I'm absent? Most people don't, and that's just the reality. 90% of small businesses, so family businesses that are considered small businesses, do not have a succession plan. So what are you going to do? Okay? Think about that. 90% of businesses have no exit strategy or plan, and people die. That's just the reality of things, especially over a long-term business. 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. For us, 45 years, nothing happens. For one, that's incredibly lucky. But for two, we can't get stuck in there, because then with no succession plan, what do we do if something goes wrong? Well, since about 2011, I wanted to address that. When I first started reading business books, if you follow me on social media, you can look around my office. I have all these books, and thank God I learned this long ago. And I saw another one of my mentors go through something with having a plan in place or not, and succeeding, or having to be very creative at that point. And sometimes it is not fucking fun. So let's say someone dies. What are you going to do? Is the business ready? Is the family ready for a transition, or are they even able? All right. So I believe in training somebody up, having a succession plan, who can do it with you in the event that you cannot. What if there's divorce in the family and these two people, spouses or someone like right under in management or something, has a divorce, leaves, or remarries, and now someone else enters the picture? What if that someone else who enters the picture has no value, no understanding of the family values, and comes in and just wants a piece of it? What if you're really successful and doing well and someone wants a piece of that, and may try to take it or fuck it up because now they are part of the family? What happens then? Or are you prepared to how to address that if it does happen? In which case, if it does happen, this is what we do. You can be part. If you earn it, this is what I expect, and then you can be a part of it. Is that set? If it's not, you should consider it, because it does happen, and it's just the reality of things. So that's what I want to bring you guys, is the reality of these things that a lot of people don't think about. Say, it won't happen to me. Bullshit. That's just not true. There's hundreds of books that have been written about why this is important. You can probably ask anybody in your family, in your friend group, if there's been a divorce. There probably is. If there's been a situation where you have to address it something hard, it's going to happen. My lawyers have all talked about it. It does happen. They have to address it, and it goes to court, and these things get very, very messy. And no one necessarily intends it to get messy. It just does, because it's not fucking planned right. Think about what your exit strategy is. Who's coming up behind you? Will you sell the company? Will you work there forever? Do you have a retirement plan? All right. And, another thing, what if you have debt tied to the business and you want to exit? You would have to sell it. Or is someone going to service that debt to buy your company and hope to turn a profit? Or maybe you're turning a profit and still have debt on the books, but who is it? Your personal debt? In small businesses, a lot of these things are tied in. So there's advantages to that, of course, if it's managed well. But there's also times where things are tied to people's property, home equity loans, credit cards that people use to flow businesses in hard times. Listen, you're going to do whatever you want to do for your business. And I learned this a long time ago. And thankfully, we got ourselves out of some of the situations that we were in that would not have been good if something was to happen. And so not only did I learn that at an early age, because I wanted to take over the business and be successful in it and grow it and all this for the family, but also because my dad was out for a year. And what were we going to do? I had to learn. There was no other option for if shit went wrong. So I was lucky enough to learn that. And it didn't make sense to me then, but it clicks to me many years later. You can avoid all that by making a good, solid plan with all the key people involved. And it won't be easy. Because back 10 years ago, when I thought I knew everything, I presented a plan to the family. I thought it was the be-all, end-all, it was the best plan ever, and they didn't accept it. We went to the lawyers and everything, and it was good. We didn't really fight about it or anything. It was just going back and forth about what we're going to do. And back then, everyone thinks they're going to live forever, and everybody thinks, we're going to have the best year ever next year, and we were fortunate enough to be continuing to do good over a long period of time. But there still needs to be a plan, because if not, time moves on anyway without you tied to it. So small business and family businesses are not cut and dry. They can be a wonderful thing if planned well. But if they're not, you could really go down the rabbit hole of shit you can just avoid. And you can avoid a lot of the things by being fair, deciding these things early, setting yourself up personally to be in a good position, and making sure the people that are working with you are also in a good position. And whoever comes with you earns it with you, so then everybody knows they put in time and effort, and the rewards are for everyone to share. So I think that's about it. It's about all I got for you guys today. Again, I appreciate you guys. I ran through a lot of these things fast, so DM me if you have any questions. If you need help in these things, let me know, because I got a lot of assets and people that have talked to me and taught me the way, and what we've done that's worked and has not worked, and how we got to where we are now, which is a great plan for the family. So appreciate you guys. It's Robert Peppo, Small Business Uncensored. Please follow on all social media. Stay badass, do whatever it takes. Let's go. We'll see you next time.
Do you think people will vote for me?